LeBron James and the Lakers, they have a chance to advance tonight. It's been a pretty remarkable turnaround for LA, who started off 2-10 this year, guys. And after they secured the 7th seed, Darvin Ham wrote on the whiteboard in the locker room that analytics had given them a 0.03% chance to make it to the playoffs. Now they have a chance to become the first team ever to win a round after being in the play-in. The game tips at 7:30 Eastern. I can't even look in this direction anymore. Perk, what's your key to tonight's game?
The only key of every game when it comes down to the Lakers, and it's definitely not the beef between Dillon Brooks and LeBron James, it's Anthony Davis, right? And we look at the inconsistency from him on the offensive end. Defensively, he has been a force. But when we get the version of Anthony Davis that we saw in Game 3, that's the AD that the Lakers need, not 12 and 11. 12 and 11 is Capella and Robert Williams' number, meaning role player numbers. You're looking for a guy to be the first option. I want to see AD demand the ball offensively, be aggressive, be a force, and go out there and have one of those dominant performances.
See, me, I think it's everyone else, because I just don't know the level of consistency that we can depend on Anthony Davis. So if I'm looking at the Lakers, I'm going to say, is it Rory that's going to step up and have a half or a game? Is it Austin Reeves? Is he going to have an outstanding half or a game? Is it D'Lo, who went on a 9-0 run after being 0 for 5 from 3? Those are the guys that I'm looking at. If the role players play well for the Lakers, I think the Lakers win, because we know what we're going to get from LeBron. We know somewhat maybe what we get from AD. If those role players play well, then I don't think it's a problem.
But the reality is that the Grizzlies, their back is against the wall, and they're playing at home. And in the regular season, this is something I think that energy will be just transformational for them. Because they don't want to go out this way. I mean, going out to the Lakers, so it starts and ends with Ja Morant, because he is the heart and soul of this squad. He 2 games ago dropped 45, last game 19. They will need all of that and then some. And I know it's been a turbulent last few weeks for Ja, last month or so, but the reality is this is his team. It's on his home floor. They've done it consistently there. You're going to have to expect a big night for him, because his energy is just contagious. I mean, he's what brings out that great defensive effort in Jaren Jackson Jr. I know he has to be careful with how he takes off and lands and those things like that, but the city goes as he goes.
It's going to be rocking.
And it's hard for us to see him having to take a back seat in a circumstance of a matchup of this magnitude.
Right. I think you said the key word there. It's energy, okay? And Malika and I were both there at the last game, and you saw everybody walking out of that arena exhausted. I mean, LeBron James sat at his locker. I watched him, sat at his locker for like 10 minutes, and he couldn't even put his shoes on. Like, he was so tired at the end of that game. And flat out, there was a timeout late in the game where Darvin Ham and LeBron were trying to decide whether to call a timeout or not. Darvin Ham calls timeout. First, LeBron says no. Then he says, actually, you know what? I need a timeout. And I asked him about it after the game, and I said, hey, what happened? And he goes, I was exhausted.
8 guys in that game played 40 plus minutes.
This is just a quick turnaround. So the first 3 games of this series, they had a lot of rest. Now, after Game 3, it's every other day, and that's a long flight between LA and Memphis.
Booker, he was in his bag in Game 5, and that helped clinch the series. 47 points, 10 assists. That performance made him the first player in the league with 45 points, 10 assists in a series-clinching game. He also passed Hall of Famer Charles Barkley for the most 40-point playoff games in Suns history with 6. So Devin Booker, Big Perk, he didn't make the All-Star team because he missed, 27 games early in the season with injury. But he's playing like an all-star now. So that means we need a little bit of a list here, I think. It's time for Big Perk's big list of big-time guards.
Absolutely. And big moments, the big list. I don't know why we're saying big. Well, I get it, right? Because it's big-time moments, but there's no bigs on here. It's all guards in the postseason when it matters the most. Coming in at number 5, Orange and Blue Skies, pull it up. Oh, it's down that way. Jalen Brunson, this guy has been on a tear. When you talk about outplaying Donovan Mitchell, being the best player in that series, he is the sole reason why the Knicks are up 3-1. Julius Randle has been struggling. Great offseason addition by the New York Knicks. Jalen Brunson at number 5. At number 4, run it. Bam! We going with Jimmy Buckets.
Wait. As a guard?
He is a guard. Stop with the
shooting guard.
Last time he was all NBA, it was forward.
Yeah, this is a positionless game. In Chicago, he's a shooting guard. Jimmy Butler, we saw what he done, that 56-piece wing dinner the other night against Giannis Antetokounmpo and Brook Lopez. He has been spectacular. Bam been injured. No Tyler Hero. They up 3-1 right now. At number 3, run it. Bam! The green eye assassin, light-skinned brother with the green eyes, Steph Curry. People think I hate him, but I don't. I actually admire him.
He hates you.
That's fine. He'll get over it. But what he's been doing, carrying this team, no Draymond in Game 3, and he delivered in great fashion. Steph has been struggling just a little bit, but he has been reliable. He plays with pride. People don't understand. He is on a mission again and is going to get it done. At number 2, bam! De'Aaron Fox,
every time.
Texas boy, broken finger, whatever. He don't give a damn. He's coming out there first year in the postseason, and he has been giving the Warriors that work on a night-to-night basis consistently, and he does a pretty good job of D'ing up. He don't mind defending and playing his position at number 1. Let's run it.
No,
D-Book, leading the league in scoring right now in the postseason. Last night, I thought I was watching Kobe. The way that he was putting on offensive, what?
No, I didn't say nothing.
The way that he was putting on that offensive clinic in the third quarter, he was spectacular. Yes, he's benefiting from having Kevin Durant, but leading the league and scoring in the postseason, he is doing his thing. They eliminated the Clippers last night.
This list all these players deserve to be on it. This man had one of the greatest performances in NBA history against the 3-1 team, one of the greatest set of defenders that we have seen in the last 10 years. That's what this man did. And it's the 1 versus 8. They had to play in to get there, and they are up 3-1. This man is tied 2-2, and they are playing against a lower seed. I know it's the defending champions, but it's 2-2. How do you not have the greatest playoff performer? How do you not have him further up this list?
He's in the top 5.
He need to be. He just had 1,500.
Wait. 4 titles, 2 MVPs.
No.
1 Finals MVP. Hey, wait 1 second. 2 playoff wins.
Yeah.
I'm just, and no disrespect.
Right now in
Malika,
current
no
I know
disrespect.
it's Bay Area, but we're living in the moment. We're talking about the now, not the past.
Jalen Brunson is up 3-1. How do you have these two? De'Aaron, you've been outstanding. No disrespect.
No disrespect.
De'Aaron, the fact that De'Aaron, these two guys have had better performances than their team. He's outplaying Donovan Mitchell.
Because De'Aaron Fox is actually doing it against the defending champs.
All right.
When you're able to go toe-to-toe with Steph Curry, you're speaking volumes.
I'm going to let you guys
a top 10 greatest player of all
doing
time.
this.
Yes, they are.
Devin Booker,
9 wins on the road.
number 1 on Big Perk's list.
D-Book.
Because Kawi Leonard was ruled out of that final clinching game, and then he's been diagnosed with a torn meniscus in his right knee. That's what sources confirmed to ESPN on Wednesday. The Clippers and Leonard, they will decide on the course of treatment for the injury in the next 2 weeks. That is what our Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting. So this is just the latest major injury, right, in Kawi Leonard's career. A bulk of those issues have been with his legs. He missed all of the 2022 season. He tore his ACL in his right knee. And then in the same leg, he's had a bunch of different issues since the initial quad injury that was back in 2016. So back here with Ramona Shelburne. Ramona, what decisions here do the Clippers have, first around Kawhi and then in their offseason?
Well, they only have 2 free agents, and that's Russell Westbrook and Plumlee. But the big decisions to me are, what do you do with this roster going forward? Do you just run it back and hope they're all healthy at some point? Do you make decisions about the future with Kawhi and Paul George having only played 41% of the games since they've got them in 2019? I mean, Steve Ballmer spent over $350 million on this team. This year, Kawhi and Paul George played 38 games together. That's not enough. It's just not. And when you look at this, Ty Lue is one of the best coaches in the NBA.
Facts.
He signed a big contract when he first came in. But if you ask him to coach this team again, that you have a decision to make. Do you ask him to coach that team with just 1 more year on his contract? He has 1 year, and then there's a team option on the last year. This is a year you have to decide, is Ty Lue, you're going to ask him to coach the team? Do you give him another extension, empower him? Don't send him into next year with this same roster with a contract where he would basically be in the last year of a contract.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.